Do you ever wonder how many different types of orgasms there are? Well, I'm Dr. Lori Buckley. I'm a sex therapist, and I'm going to be answering that question in this video. The reason why I'm talking about different types of orgasms is, one, it's really interesting, and two, it can expand our awareness of different types of orgasms or pleasure that we can experience during sex, solo or with a partner. And I don't want you to feel like you need to have all of these or there's something wrong with you. Some of you will find that it'll be easier to experience an orgasm or more pleasurable to experience an orgasm in a certain way. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 8. Now, you can Google different types of orgasms. Some people will say there's 8, some will say there's 11, some will say there's many, many, many more. The ones I'm focusing on are the ones that I think are the most useful for you to know. There are many different other ones. So first, we're going to talk about the clitoral orgasm. Now, I'm going to say a lot of the orgasms that we experience, probably the majority, are clitoral. So with clitoral orgasms, you don't just need to focus on the glands or that little dot. There is the shaft of the clitoris. There's the crura or the legs of the clitoris. It goes way out. Again, watch this video and you can find out how you can experience clitoral orgasms, which many women do. Even with penetration, you can experience a clitoral orgasm. You can do that with the vibrator. You can even do it with penetrative sex as long as you are experiencing some stimulation on your clitoris. And that could be through your body touching your partner's body. It could be using your fingers. It could be using a vibrator. There's lots of ways to experience a clitoral orgasm. It is important for me to also say there is not one that is better than the other or one that is immature or wrong. They're all good. Whether you have orgasms or don't, that's okay too, but I want women to experience as many orgasms as you can. And by the way, men can experience different types of orgasms too, but I'm really focusing here on female orgasms. The next popular orgasm is the G-spot orgasm. And for some, this is elusive, but it is something that a lot of women experience and find it very pleasurable. Generally, when women do squirt or ejaculate, as they call it, it is when they are experiencing a G-spot orgasm, but not necessarily. So you could have a G-spot orgasm and not necessarily ejaculate or squirt. And again, it's not good or bad or right or wrong whether you do or you don't. And the way you experience a G-spot orgasm is with G-spot stimulation. And that can be done with fingers, it can be done with a dildo, generally not done with a penis. So typically it is something that you are going to be intentional about. Your fingers, your partner's fingers, a dildo is a great way to do it. On my site, Stuff of Love, I have a lot of G-spot stimulators, whether they're glass dildos or even ones that vibrate, which can really give you a lot of pleasure. So I would say if you haven't experienced a G-spot orgasm or G-spot stimulation, it's something worth trying. Now, another orgasm is the blended orgasm. When you can have G-spot stimulation and clitoral stimulation at the same time, that would be called a blended orgasm, and that can be really, really nice. It can also be a way to increase your arousal. So if you have difficulty or your partner has difficulty experiencing an orgasm, both of those stimulation, or really any kind of multiple stimulation, can increase the possibilities that you will experience an orgasm. And it does take the intensity to a whole new level. Now, another type of orgasm is nipple orgasms. And yes, they exist. A lot of women and even some men can experience orgasms just through nipple stimulation. And the reason that works is when the nipples are stimulated, it releases oxytocin. When oxytocin is released, it does create some contractions in our vulva area, which is contracting the erectile tissue that we have. Clitoral stimulation, sort of in an indirect way. And you can also do that while you're having your nipples stimulated by doing some Kegel exercises, squeezing and tightening your PC muscles, your pelvic floor muscles. That can add to the stimulation. But nipple stimulation alone does actually provide enough stimulation for many people to be able to experience an orgasm. Whether it does or not, it can still feel really good. So another type of orgasm is the anal orgasm. And I do have a video about anal sex, and you can check that out. But anal sex is pleasurable for a lot of men and women. And there are lots of nerve endings in our anus, and it does also stimulate, when we have something inserted in our anus, erectile tissue or areas like the G-spot that can also really create a wonderful experience and even orgasm. Now, another type of orgasm is an extended orgasm. An extended orgasm is really nice. And basically what you're doing is you're not just kind of building it up and then releasing. You're building it up, you're slowing it down, and you're extending it. So you're staying at that heightened level of arousal for a longer period of time. And it feels almost like an ongoing orgasm, but you're not fully releasing. Now, I am going to put a link down below for omgyes.com where you can subscribe. It's just a one-time fee. You get to buy all of the videos. They're instructional videos backed with science that will teach you how to experience these orgasms or how to help your partner experience these orgasms. And it really does give some good information about extended orgasm, which is something I think every woman should do. Now, another type of orgasm are multiple orgasms. Now, some women can really experience multiple orgasms very easily, and some women prefer just to have one. But I'm going to say, even the women who just prefer to have one, you can practice and you can learn and train your body how to have multiple orgasms. Every woman is capable of doing it. We don't have a refractory period, so it's one of the perks of being a woman, and really does give us some opportunities to have an extended amount of pleasure during our lovemaking sessions. And the last orgasm I want to talk about is the C-spot orgasm. C standing for cervix. And there are many women who really can experience orgasms from having a lot of pressure on their cervix. And it's something that can feel really, really good for a lot of women. And you'll know that you are experiencing that because you feel it. If it's not done right, it can hurt. So you want to make sure, and this is true with all kinds of penetrative sex, that you are sufficiently aroused. But when you are aroused enough, when you have that pressure hitting your cervix, it can really lead to an orgasm or certainly increase your level of arousal or pleasure. But if not done at the right time or not done right, it can hurt. And sex should never, ever hurt. But for women who know that feeling, they like that being pounded in a very aggressive way, they know what that means. Many women do not. So when you watch porn, that's what you see. You see a lot of pounding in and out and in and out and in and out, and sort of jackhammer sex, we like to call it. That doesn't feel good for a lot of women. And even women who enjoy C-spot stimulation or who are able to have C-spot orgasms, you need to make sure that the woman or you are sufficiently aroused before that happens. And that's that buildup, right? And towards the end, then it's time to go for that. And again, if it hurts, stop, but it's something that a lot of women really do enjoy, and they experience wonderful orgasms. So those are 8 orgasms, different types. There are many more, but these are the main ones. And again, go to OMG Yes, check it out and find out some different ways that you can experience pleasure or orgasms, increase your sexual repertoire and your behaviors and your arousal. Why not? And if you are liking this channel, please do subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I don't want you to miss any future videos, and I always appreciate you watching. Thank you.